Da, da, da. Now we're unmuted.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. I am Lawrence Cartse. I'm, of course, here with Blair. Blair, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Been a little long week, but I don't think anything else is counter-programming us this week. Like,
just football. That's it.
What is this football?
Yeah.
This sounds European.
Very European. Are you crushing a Coke Zero or a Cherry Coke?
I am crushing a cherry Coke.
Solid. I appreciate the abundance of pop choices that have now arisen in Canada. We have Cherry Coke Zero and Cherry Coke, and like now there's a Fanta Zero that's like a mystery flavor. That's something new too. Yeah. So I'm all for it.
Like I've noticed, there's been more of them that have been popping up, but like. They're like in Montreal. There are at least grocery stores that are like selling like international products. Like it's more like a Depener, but like at crazy high markups that I would never pay.
Yes.
And also like I think the major grocery store near me saw that and started like bringing in American snacks, like a small like specific like hard to find American snack section, which I really appreciate.
The last time I went to the States, I was going to bring back a case of Dr. Pepper Zero strawberries and cream, and then I looked at the price of a 12-pack and it was like $6.99, and I just put it right back. I'm like, I can't do that. That's $12 Canadian.
Yeah. Oh,
like again.
I swear to God, the store that opened up near me had like a box of like cereal that's hard to find for like $20. I'm like, there's no way I'm paying $20 for a box of cereal. Like I'm bad with money, but I'm not that bad with money.
Yes. Like sometimes I'll think to myself like, did I really need to buy that shirt? Did I need to buy whatever? And then it's like, okay, I may waste money, but I'm not that bad where I'll buy a $20 box of cereal.
Yeah.
So.
But yes, big week in pro wrestling this week.
Mm-hmm.
We in AEW we saw the like opening them like the makings of both Grand Slam and Wrestle Dream with the first big match for Wrestle Dream. We have the like one dream match that's been like the most talked about. It's always been like at the top of the list for Daniel Bryan. We have Daniel Bryan Bryan Danielson. God damn it. Oh, I'm going to use my shoot name this time. God damn it. Against Zack Sabre Jr., which will just be like the most like twisty submission match, like going like the probably one of the best technical wrestling matches we'll ever see.
Mm-hmm. We're getting a dream match that fans have been clamoring for since Brian left
Yeah.
WWE. And we were supposed to get it last year at Forbidden Door. Injuries happened. It's part of wrestling. And then, I mean, going into this year's and with all in and everything, you had hoped for it again. Didn't come to fruition, but now we're getting it October 1st at Wrestle Dream. And I mean, you could just have this one match announced and go into the card, with like mystery matches for the rest, and I'd still buy it like 10 times out of 10 because this match is worth it.
Yeah, and Brian's hometown of Seattle, Washington, like that crowd's gonna be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if you saw it. I just before the show saw Zack Sabre Jr. reacting to the match.
Okay.
Yeah, he did an interview in Japan, and he called Brian multiple times a dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very good promo of him being like, "Yeah, about fucking time we get this match."
Well, he's someone who's not afraid. Like, not I don't want to say not afraid, but like you see him regularly enough on like ROH TV or like AEW where he's not overexposed, but the fans are aware of who he is. So I mean, that'll add to it as well.
Yeah. Oh, that definitely. And we also are heading to like the inevitable conclusion here, which we like in this tournament. No offense to anyone else in it, but it was like filler matches till this one, which was Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really like what Roderick Strong's doing, being sort of like the pissant ex who won't leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're happy, Adam Cole's happy in his new relationship, and he keeps trying to ruin it, trying to show pictures of the old times. Remember when we went to Disney World? How I held you after you were scared after the log ride. We cried for hours, Adam. We cried for hours.
This has been like some of the best work for Roddy. And I mean, when he was kind of in, oh, hey, Zach, when he was, in NXT, like he had a good run. But then towards the end, they kind of just let him, like nobody even knew his contract ran out. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he shows up in AEW and you're like, oh shit, yeah, Roddy. It's nice to see that he's getting this like meaty storyline to actually be a part of and not just, like having matches and then progressing from there. Like they're really throwing him right into it and he's knocked it out of the park.
Like that whole thing with like the Undisputed Era in AEW, like sadly has been just like dogged with injuries from the get-go. Like losing Adam Cole, losing Kyle O'Reilly, like all three of them have spent time injured, so they never really got to start with what they probably initially attempted with them, or were thinking. And we're finally seeing like a major storyline for this MGF storyline with Adam Cole is the biggest one in pro wrestling. Like one of the biggest in pro wrestling. It's definitely like the one I'm enjoying the most right now. And he's right there in the mix with Samoa Joe, who's the foil for MJF right now. Like, who do you think is going to take it?
The tournament?
Yeah.
I'm torn right now because, I mean, the way they've been building this, like the Roddy storyline, like you think that, okay, he should be getting a shot at some point. Like, where are they going with this? But then also how they've done the Samoa Joe storyline the past couple of weeks. Like, you do have, I think Joe's going to win this maybe by, Cole accidentally doing something, and so Joe wins, gets the shot at Grand Slam, and then maybe at Wrestle Dream you get Roddy versus MJF. I don't know. Like, they both have been positioned to get opportunities.
Yeah. Like, it's once again showing just how damn good Samoa Joe is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every promo, like that promo with MJF, right after the shove was just so good. Like it was one of those that was like a perfect draw where like no one really came out on top except the fans because they went back and forth perfectly. like Samoa Joe is impossible to one up.
Mhm.
Like he will get the final word in a promo no matter what, and like he's that throughout his whole career, and like thing he's just like he has the thing same thing as Eddie Kingston where like when you hear him talk, you know for a fact he's gonna back it up and like this is
Yeah.
legitimate. Like he is a legitimate fucking badass who will knock your head off very easy or choke you out. Like I find it like a very like it's one of those things where like I want him to win so bad because like he that's like the major mistake with WWE made, which we like mention all the time, is he should have been heavyweight champion.
Mhm.
And I hope like I'm fine ish if like MJF wins because if he Samoa Joe wins and then faces MJF, I'm fine with him winning because like this the storyline is still fun, but like man, I really want to see this for him. Like I want to see Samoa Joe finally take one.
Mhm. Yeah, it'd be nice for him to get the recognition of being the world champion for a major promotion. I mean,
Yeah,
I know he had the ROH one and everything, but
yeah,
it's like for the time and for how much he's grown since then, I mean, I think he deserves another opportunity with it just to see what he could do,
yeah.
whether it's now or down the line. But I'd like to see that too.
Plus, like it would be very interesting to see like MJF start realizing like is Adam Cole making me weak?
Mhm.
Is like the fact that I care for somebody else like for like the first time like what it looks like legitimately
Yeah.
care for like another wrestler uh like did his brochacho for life like will this make me weak when you're facing somebody as like in that ring as cold as heartless as Samoa Joe.
Um, I just wanted to point out you forgot one of the Undisputed Era members, and how dare you disrespect Bobby Fish like
Fish,
that?
oh yes.
Bobby Fish is a treasure.
I mean, in the sense that he was there when the Titanic sank. Uh, he was there in biblical times. Yeah, pretty sure he was next to Indiana Jones in the first three.
I like how TK's like signing spree was like, well, if I can get Bobby Fish over, then maybe I can get Kyle O'Reilly. Then we get Adam Cole. And it's just like
Yeah.
Bobby Fish was the catalyst for all of it. And then he gets them all. He's like, just pushes them aside.
Yeah. Sorry, who are you?
Yeah, I don't, no,
Your
no,
phone,
I
who's
don't.
this?
Yeah.
You're standing right next to me, Tony. Do you guys hear anything?
I'm
I'm
sure. I'm sure Bobby Fish is just crushing it right now on those. Where I
yeah.
don't even think he's with Impact anymore. I don't know
No, I
what
don't
he's
think
up to.
so. I think that was like a limited, very limited run.
I will say having Collision definitely makes things easier with doing tournaments when you can actually book them properly and like
Yeah.
not have to wonder about the scheduling, because there was that women's like eliminator tournament like 2 years ago. I think it was like during peak COVID when they were doing it, and then he had to like do special dark episodes just to get the matches on because he like ran out of booking.
Yeah.
So getting better.
Yeah, but like I think the problem with the tournament is like it was so clear who's going to be in the finals for this one
Yeah.
from the jump. Like I almost like if Samoa Joe wins it, like it almost feels like the tournament was like almost pointless because like it was clear from like from the pay per view that if they were setting up from All Out, they're setting up Joe and MJF.
Mhm.
Like they could have just announced the match. We were already going to be excited for it, but like if it helps progress the storyline with Roddy to of like either Adam Cole accidentally screws over Roddy, and like Roddy's going to try to screw over MJF afterwards.
I wonder if, like, because there's so much thought that, okay, Joe is they've built up that storyline. If maybe that's where you kind of get that little bit of a swerve and Roddy ends up winning it,
Yeah,
just because people will expect Joe, which adds another level of intrigue to it. But I still think that Joe's got it. I mean, how can you not?
yeah. Like
So,
from a storyline perspective, like Roddy probably win it, but from like a big match perspective, you want Joe there.
yeah.
it like that is like a super fight where you've got like no disrespect to Roddy. Like I feel there's a better chance of Joe winning it than Roddy winning it.
Hmm. They've done a better job of booking the Grand Slam show than they have the past couple pay-per-views with like the match announcements,
Yeah.
because you already have the world title match with the tournament to decide. You have the women's match already announced where Saraya is going to defend against the winner of a four-way. You have Jericho, Sammy, and then you announced on Collision last night was Eddie Kingston and Claudio for the ROH title, and
Oh,
title versus title.
again, like I really, really want this for Eddie. Like they've been telling the story
Yeah.
for months now. Like back from Chikara to like throughout their entire careers, and like they've been really telling the story and have his like loss the last time they fought. Like I think Eddie needs to win this. I don't
Hmm.
think like the RH title is particularly doing anything for Claudio right now. It would like it'd be a more meaningful for Eddie winning it, and like it completely well deserved. And like the fans want to see because he's over everywhere. Like people often forget anytime Eddie comes to that ring, he's like one of the most over guys in the company.
Hmm. I think when it comes to the history aspect of wrestling and ROH, it having his name associated with the ROH title
Yeah.
definitely it. I don't want to say it means more than it would like if you were to win the AEW World Championship or like if you ever won the WWE one, but like to me, like I don't want to say suits it, but like when you talk wrestling and what Eddie Kingston stands for, it's like him as ROH champion just makes
Oh.
all the sense in the world.
Yeah, it's also like a title for title match,
Yeah.
which with his Eddie Kingston's strong title, which is going to be like, oh man, I'm very excited for that match. I'm very excited for a New York crowd when Eddie Kingston comes out in a
Hmm.
title match. Like that is going to be once again next level. That's like very good booking right there. That
Hmm.
is like the last few times that crowd has been loud. Like this, it's going to be another level for Eddie.
Yeah.
Like there is no one else who is like a if you like legitimately like jar New York, you'd probably have Eddie Kingston in a jar. Like he is that fucking city to a
Yeah.
T. Like
He encapsulates New York for like everything, like and like if you saw a picture of Eddie Kingston, you're like, "Where's this guy from?" You'd be like, "New York."
yeah, like literally even in his genetic makeup, he's half Irish, half Puerto Rican.
So,
Like very very old school New York.
yeah,
Like
he has the New York vibe to him. Even
yeah,
when you see him wearing like a Rough Rider shirt and stuff, it's just like,
yeah,
yeah. So, but there was also Jade Cargill returned last night on Collision,
yeah. I saw that.
looking like an absolute star once again.
Like that as she grows in the ring. She has mentioned it when she was like TBS champ. Like she has such crossover appeal
Hmm.
that like you can do so many things with her, and like it's gonna be like it's such a massive marketing opportunity for AEW to have like Jade Cargill courtside at games, have her acting in different stuff. Like she has that ability and that just like star power that like not that many people have.
Hmm.
And like like as she gets in the ring, she'll be a bigger and bigger star. And I'm like happy she's come back to AEW
Hmm.
and like continue this feud too.
Even like last night, you saw the Renegade Twins on Collision. The Iron Savages were there too. So like they're starting to like get more of these wrestlers in there too, like putting some new blood into it, which is kind of nice because like Dynamite sort of has its core group of like younger wrestlers that, excuse me, that they are putting into the shows and everything. So for Collision to have the same, it's a nice little like kind of for them to get those opportunities as well.
Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else happened this week. There was I mean WWE, we talked earlier,
Yeah.
the Gunther and Gable match got like outstanding reviews for that one.
Oh, that was a great match. Like you look at somebody who has like deserve this moment and been working their ass off from NXT onwards. The person like Chad Gable, like he is finally getting his rose, like long overdue roses.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting on insane matches, and like he is absolutely killing it. He, I feel, deserves at this point to be the one to take the title off Gunther.
Yeah.
Like,
just the fact that he was stuck with the Shorty G gimmick for so long.
yeah.
And it's like, you know, he is so much better than what they were giving him to work with at that time. Because like in the ring, even when he was doing that, he's still technically sound, still incredible
Yeah.
to watch in there. And then he's just a joke of a character. But like now, even the start of the Alpha Academy kind of was like, you're kind of wondering what they're doing with him. But they've really done a great job of like putting him in a position to succeed. And I hope that whether it's at the next pay-per-view or something, you do see him get that singles victory over Gunther. I think it would elevate him. It would allow Gunther to move on to bigger and better things as well. And I mean, Gunther's name is already going to be in the history books. It's not going to get erased after this. So it'd be good on all accounts.
Yeah, like I literally had to be reminded like this week of Shorty G, and like I repressed that memory very much. But like you look at him, and so like two of the most people over people on both shows right now are him and LA Knight, and both of them recently like were saddled with bad gimmicks when they got to the main roster. Like he was like they had him LA Knight as a manager, and like no disrespect, but like he clearly has so much more to give than just being a manager to a tag team, and like this very gimmicky manager too. And like part of me thinks it's a little bit of like a test that they throw, like if you either can make this gimmick work or we eventually find something for you that's better with your character, like your regular character will get like there is like part of me that says like if you don't like complain and just like make the best of this, it does go a long way. I feel with like the head office and the writers in WWE, like both Gable and Thing still did their job. Came out like Gable tried to do, like his first promo. Yeah, his first promo adds like Shorty G. I remember everyone's like they're making him Shorty G. I remember the rumors like they like this is like even some people after the promo were like, wow, I actually kind of buy it a little bit now. Like he did turn a few people to the like very stupid gimmick, like oh he like turned into an underdog gimmick.
Well, because originally when Kurt Angle was there and they did the storyline of, oh, my son is gonna, announcing who his son was,
Yeah.
and that like because everybody thought it was gonna be Gable because it worked out perfectly,
Yeah.
And it was like after that moment, then it was just like you're like, well, what are they gonna do with this guy?
Yeah.
So Zach had mentioned the match is up on YouTube, and the turnaround time for that, you never get days later for a current match. You'll get the clip highlight packages, but to have the full thing, it's really a good thing for them to upload that to capitalize on like word of mouth and people seeing that, and maybe you attract some more viewers that way.
Yeah, 100%. Like that. That is a match a lot of people were talking about afterwards, because you've got two of the best professional wrestlers, like technical wise, in WWE right now, going at it, and just like they let them go and told an amazing story in that ring. And like again, like Chad Gable, even this gimmick, a lot of people thought was silly at first, like the Alpha Academy, and like got Otis over, got Maxine over now. Like all three of them have all like taken a massive step up, and are all killing it. Like they are beloved in that, like they're like some of the biggest baby faces on Raw right now, and it's because some people are undeniable, and that was a lot of hard work on Chad Gable's part to finally get his thing. And like I'm so happy that he's finally getting it, because he 100% deserves it. And like hopefully he gets the title soon, because like that would be like an amazing crowning moment for him.
Yeah, to finally have that the big singles victory, because he's had those incredible tag team matches, against FTR, against Authors of Pain. I think those were the two main ones, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. But like he's known for being such an incredible tag team wrestler. So to finally have that big singles victory, it would go a long way for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, um, football starting today, the fantastic Sunday activity. I know you
Yeah.
are very excited, as everyone can tell, with your
I know what you're
Philadelphia.
talking about.
Your
I'm being quite subtle, if anything.
100%. I had to do a
I,
double take. Like, is that a football shirt or is it a new wrestling
uh,
shirt?
it actually is a wrestling shirt. See, it's both. It is ECW
Okay.
originals on the shirt.
Now, see, I like
Yeah.
I said, I had to double take.
Yeah.
That's a
Because
solid shirt.
it is.
Um, because we had kind of talked about wrestlers who used to be NFL players
Yeah.
off air. And like I started like when we were waiting for the pre-show loop to go through, I was googling and stuff, and it's incredible how much like misinformation is out there too about wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because like I was like going through a list, and it's talking about Kevin Green, who I asked you about before, and it's like, oh yeah, he was a champion in WWF and WCW and ECW, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? The guy wrestled like 2 matches in WCW.
Yeah.
He's gonna set foot in ECW. Come on.
Like there is a long, long lineage of like especially football players. Like a lot of them don't get because like a lot of them were like linemen
Mm-hmm.
and worked the bigger positions. So like they don't have necessarily the notoriety. Like I just found out now, like that Vader was in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these players, like you think, which like is true for a lot of them, that like oh they played like one season or like a few games and like had an injury and had to like bow, which is true for a lot of them. But like a lot of them had like even like Baron Corbin had a successful career. You had Top Dollar, who had
Yeah.
a successful career as an NFL player. Like he's like mentioned Mary Tom, like I have enough money right now from my like Top Dollar. Like enough money right now from his NFL career to do whatever he wanted. He didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
go to WWE, but like he just loved wrestling so much that he wanted to do it. Like
The, there was a few names that I was surprised about going through the list, and then like ones that you totally forgot that they ever did. Like I had forgot that Lesnar, after he left WWF round one, he
yeah,
was like, "I'm going to try out for the Minnesota Vikings," and like we see how well that worked out for him. But like just the thought process that he could go from not having played football in years, you're a wrestler, collegiate and then a professional, and be like, yeah, I'm going to go play football, and
yeah.
like thought that he could actually make it
Well, like
work.
I remember hearing that like he was a lot closer to like there was something that came up which was why he was legitimately one of the final cuts that season.
Hmm.
I remember that and like there's like I think the Vikings did want there's something that came up that he couldn't do it from what I remember. Like I remember hearing recently. But yeah, like I remember that vividly because I remember he could sign Brock Lesnar on Madden. He was a free agent on there that season.
That is incredible. Like I'm going to go dust off the old Xbox 360 and load it
Yeah.
up and try to find him now.
Yeah, like I remember if you like search, I think it was like for some reason like under middle linebacker or something like that. He was like one of the free agents because like he was in he that's why like, he was one of the last cuts. So like at that point they already have him in the game
Hmm.
and yeah. So like in that year I think he was both in Madden and in WWE and like SmackDown. I think.
Like I'll ask you this because you're more in tuned to the world of football.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of one player, and he is now my favorite football player, and that is from the Kansas City Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco,
Pacheco.
because he has the same last name as me. So now he's the best player of all time. But out of everyone, who could you see with like personality and everything, like make the transition to becoming a wrestler?
I mean, there are quite a few right now. Like I would say I'm trying to think. I I would say Travis Kelsey,
Hmm.
big dude, uh, like charismatic as all hell. Like JPJ, not a fan because he's like on a rival team, but like his podcast with his brother, who's on the Eagles, Jason Kelsey. But like both of them are both legitimately like hilarious, charismatic dudes. Who like he's definitely has the size as a tight end, like, and like athletic enough to do it. Like I feel like he could do it. He would be like a good trash talker. I would put. I think. Like hell, even like Brandon Graham on the Eagles, who's like known for like cutting promos in the middle of games, and just like talking a whole bunch of trash. Like Jason Kelsey said, like there was one game, it was like you're firing up the other team too much with all the trash. You need to calm it down in a second. But yeah, like that dude, big dude, like just a big meaty man, gonna be slapping some meat.
It's like you mentioned the trash talk, and like that's something you don't get tons of when it comes to wrestling. That I think like someone should make that their thing, like where they do trash talk their opponent more. Because like I remember reading a book and it talked about the Jazz and Bulls NBA finals, and Karl Malone was about to do a free throw, and Scottie Pippen went up to him and said, "The mailman doesn't deliver on Sundays," because the game was on a Sunday, and it like threw him off. And I'm like, that is one of the best trash talks of all time. I need a wrestler to do that like during a match, just talking down to his opponent.
Well, like that's especially during the pandemic when there was like no, that's like the thing that helped make Roman Reigns run this time. Was like he was so good at telling the story of just like why are you wrestling me? You don't think you can beat me? Like he was known for doing that. Like he was one of the ones that like definitely employed that, which like I love. Like fun story about my short-lived high school wrestling career. Short-lived, like 6 years. I did elementary school and high school. It's one of like the longest sports I did. But yeah, is my proudest moment was not the time I won a gold medal. Was the time I was talking so much trash and cracking so many jokes in the middle of a match that I broke the ref. That the ref started laughing. It's like I've never had anyone made me laugh during a match.
So your opponent's getting beat up, you're making the ref laugh. I mean, just like it's like a sitcom almost.
Yeah, that was like legitimately like this is the peak of my wrestling career here. Like,
Zach pointing out that Braun Breaker, free agent in 20 or 21, and I mean, like, if he makes it to WWF, like when he eventually does, like with what they've given him in NXT, you almost think like it should transition to the main roster when he makes the move. He could become one of the most well-known football, like, well, not well-known, one of the most, popular, well-received football players to make that transition to professional wrestling with what they've given him so far, if it continues.
I mean, he's already got the legacy wrestling thing. And like I like what the like full heel thing he's doing in NXT now, but I think by like next year they should definitely call him up probably around like either at Royal Rumble or after Mania. Like I think he's ready for the next challenge in WWE.
I'm surprised they kept him in NXT, especially like after he lost the title, because you kind of feel like, okay, he loses the title, Carmelo Hayes moves on to a different opponents. Then it's like, what's left for Braun Breaker? Like you kind of get the fear that he's going to spin his wheels. He's managed to stay very relevant, but I think that was a big fear coming out of it.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not the first time they've done some of that. You've got like Ciampa and like Gargano were there for a while. Yeah, so it's not like it does very much feel like the senior who's staying for an extra year.
He's upgrading his classes.
Or like the college, the college senior who's like still got a few credits left.
My arm is extra big.
Yeah.
I do. I'm curious to see when he does make the move up, because he's being put in a prime position. So just to see him make that, what he makes of it.
also a great trash talking moment was when Kevin Owens, it was involving Roman Reigns, but he had Roman Reigns in the headlock in the rest position, in a rest hold, and was trash talking the fan and breaking down how much money he made. Like, how much did you make a year? I just made 30,000. That's just on like t-shirt sales this week.
Like, I'm telling you, trash talk, it's underappreciated in wrestling, whether it's with the fans. Like, you go to an indie show and you might see that, especially if someone's really harping on a guy like during a rest hold.
Yeah.
You know, they might start going back and forth, but like, I need more of that.
Yeah. Like, there's so many of the guys that are so good at that like sometimes like they don't get as much promo time, or like it's fun to see it during a match. Like, I always love when like the camera picks it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a tag team here that wrestles in IWS, and it's like featured now on Crossbody Pro Wrestling Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
And like they are very good at that. I think Mikey Truth, the guy that like, he is very, very good at like the outside trash talk throughout the match. Like, I love that so much. Like, that's one of the things that made me like take notice of them. They're like very, very funny.
Yeah, I remember after the last LPW 18, Ophelia mentioned this, that trash talking Jared Rogers about if he's really wily, and that made me so happy that it's like,
yeah,
that it made its way into that sort of like,
it's now canon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That Jared is the wily veteran. Like, I know it's cheesy, but like, it just, hearing that, I had the biggest smile on my face. So I'm easily pleased, easily amused.
So we do have a match today.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good match. We've got was it, did I get the right one?
Michael Allen, Richard Clark versus the Thickness. Reid
Yeah,
Matthews.
I do have the right one. Yeah, I do have the right one. For a second, I thought it was Blaze, and I'm like, oh no, I grabbed the wrong match. But no, it is Michael Allen, Richard Clark versus Reid Matthews. I'm going to throw that up in a second.
Mm-hmm.
There's screen. Do. Yeah, that's good. Just
Sporting Life has a sale on shoes.
The following contest is scheduled through one fall and will be refereed by PPW head official, referee Curtis Barnum.
At BB Boris, send me a tweet. Let me know if you can hear me, because power's going on.
Making their way to the ring first.
Goddamn chaos around here. Speaking of chaos,
this is one of like the best posters that Zach did for the show.
I have loved all of the posters, the graphics. Like, that is one thing. LPW has done an incredible job. Zach has done a great job with the designs.
Yeah.
They really stand out.
Reid Matthews. I mean, that says it all. Violence. I mean, I can't stress it any more than that. This man is, of course, just wants to hurt people and make money.
Does, of course, the bodyguard of LPW Grand Champion Zoe Sager.
His opponent.
Oh, God damn it. He will fight this Mitsubishi.
Look, I would watch Reid Matthews fight an SUV because Reid Matthews would win.
Yeah.
I bet you Reid could squat that SUV.
Michael Allen, Richard Clark, we saw him make his AEW debut as well recently. The longest name in professional wrestling, a pedigree like no other here in Western Canada.
He got announced for a show here October 7th for WPW, the Rumble at the Birch. He's going to be in the Rumble match.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. He's been here a few
times.
times. Always great.
This is going to be a scrap and a half.
Two big guys in the ring here.
I mean, everyone focuses on Zoe Sager, and for good reason, but Reid Matthews also been killing it.
Yes. He's been making his presence known in LPW in many, many ways.
Right now, going it alone against Michael Allen. Richard Clark taking that side headlock. One of the strongest men in professional wrestling. Shoulder tackle like running into a wall. Thickness is not just a clever nickname.
Zach, sometimes I cry when I'm at the gym. You know, if I'm watching videos and like one of those dog adoption videos throw up on my phone, or if it's like, you know, they do a rescue, I started welling up.
Clark there.
That was an impressive run.
A TikTok of like that rates every week.
The dog race.
That does the 5 best dogs of that week every Friday.
I think the only person in this building that does not want push-ups is
I
Reid
thought of you
Matthews.
this morning at the gym because a few weeks back, or when we did the brunch after Backlash, the Backlash pay-per-view, and Bad Bunny was there, because we talked about like, you know, just music and stuff, and like, you know, they should be focusing on how we should be, you know, promoting, you know, like Bad Bunny, like get his music out there more instead of like the generic rock. And I'm like, I listened to the generic rock at the gym.
Yeah.
This morning I was listening to the new Shaquille O'Neal album at the gym.
Absolutely beating him down. Mocking his opponent now too.
I don't know what Zach is clipping, and now I'm worried.
Yeah.
And now some thick push-ups.
Oh.
Michael Allen, Richard Clark feels that is the ultimate disrespect, able to sidestep that elbow.
Is a push-up the ultimate disrespect when it comes to like calisthenics you could do on an opponent in a match?
Yeah.
Huge power slam from Michael Allen, Richard Clark.
Like it's more,
Yeah.
you know, it's more than jumping jacks, that's for sure. Maybe he should do a burpee.
Yeah, I was about to say a burpee would be more like going up and down like this, like the balls in somebody's face. Wild disrespectful.
Just teabagging him.
Yeah.
Takes his physical fitness more than seriously, and it shows.
I did that one and my ankle popped immediately. Just a loud popping sound. It was not ready for that.
I remember Joe King had like a burpee challenge that he did last year, and I was like, I'll try doing it, and I hadn't done a burpee in years. I regretted everything about it.
You hear it time and time again, but it really is the hardest part of the ring.
Reid Matthews going to take 5, admiring his handiwork.
If people are mad at Zoe's matches, there's that fan right there that is part of the Zoe Sager fan club. I might sign up for the fan club if people are mad.
Yeah.
Clark in a bad way, and this is where Reid Matthews.
I also say, you know, fuck him. That's the same thing.
Much like I mentioned with
Suck it,
Shabazz,
nerds. She's the champ.
You're not going to see a lot of Hurricanranas, flippy
What
shit.
up,
He's gonna punch
turds?
the shit out of you. Harder than that buckle.
Thickness, bigger guy, deceptively fast though.
And a hush is kind of falling over this packed crowd here as the Thickness goes to work on Michael Allen, Richard Clark.
I'm still thinking about Reid Matthews versus a Mitsubishi.
Yeah, we need to book that.
It would be like in Street Fighter when you go to the bonus rounds and you'd have to beat up a car.
Yeah. Like,
2 count only says
he's
Curtis
challenged to a
Artem.
parking lot brawl, but not realizing his opponent is the car.
Not just any
It's a smart car that drives up on its own.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Our interim head official of Love Pro Wrestling tonight.
Like, that would be a great cinematic match Love Pro Wrestling
Suspended
can
for
do.
30 days.
Mhm.
Ben Omen not in the building tonight.
Then he just takes on other modes of transportation.
Yeah.
Reid Matthews versus a boxcar.
Oh, nice cradle from Clark.
Package. Only the
Reid
two.
Matthews versus Thomas the Tank
Shut
Engine.
that down
Yeah,
in a
just
hurry.
giving a blue thunderbomb to Thomas the Tank Engine.
Now blatant choke over that middle rope.
Yes, I was doing a squat. I was trying to remember the name for it. I'm like, it's a squat. That's how.
Making sure Thickness knows his rules.
Now we're gonna go on a tour around
Thickness
the ring.
does not care. Right back to that choke.
Clark in a bad way. He's been on the receiving end of a lot of abuse over the last 6 minutes. He put everything he had behind that whip into the buckle.
Those are one of my favorite Irish whips, when the person whipping the guy falls and the other one bounces out of the corner.
Disrespectful cover by Thickness here.
Much
Sell the
better,
hell
but
out of
same
it.
result.
Mhm.
You can see etched all over the face of Clark is pain and discomfort.
Just grabbing him by the hair, too.
Oh, mat at the
No
interference.
respect.
Clark
Reid
again
Matthews.
trying to fight up. Sorry to cut you off there. Trying to fight up from underneath, but again cut off. Fired across the ring. Man,
Clothesline takes his head off.
senton backsplash as only Reid Matthews can do. Hooking that leg again.
I said with that senton. Reid
I mean,
Matthews
is he
a
the
big guy,
champ,
but he's
Ophelia? Because
deceptively fast.
I
He
don't
is
see a title around
explosive.
his waist. I see a whole bunch of nothing.
Wow.
Clark firing in right hands.
See,
Staggering Matthews.
I tried. I mean, now that they're baby faces, and as counsel for B2B, and since they've gotten along, I'm not supposed to make fun of the Reds, but it's so hard and such a reflex.
Ooh, close 2 count.
Like, I've got 30 jokes constantly chambered.
Frustration.
He is he's the champ of the people's hearts. Ophelia is 100% right. I mean, LPW 19 is going to be very telling for the future of TY. I mean, he needs a big victory over Reid so that he can rightfully claim that title that's his, you know? That he, you know, that Mitty will say he should be the champ. So that's what he needs to do. But a loss to Reid, I mean, it's going to send him right back to square one.
Yeah.
The world. Almost enough to get the job done. Matthews getting more frustrated as this match goes on, but the light slowly going out on Michael Allen, Richard Clark.
Now we've seen that knee. The world finish off competitors here in LPW. Couldn't get the job done against Michael Allen, Richard Clark.
Yeah, pain etched across the face.
Maybe
Clark.
looking
Could
for
be
that
looking
cannonball in the corner.
Absolutely. Sizing him up for that cannonball. Clark got the hell of the dodge. Matthews able to put the brakes on. Clark thought he might have caught a break, but no dice. And into the shoulder, now just stomping away.
Seeing the event poster in the background, it has me
Corner to
thinking of
corner.
like
Oh, he got
Other-
the feet up.
Fired across
bands
the ring for
and,
that cannonball.
like albums that should be a part of like,
Almost like a drop kick.
you know, the events, and I'm like,
That's gonna give Clark a couple
I want some
seconds.
new metal
Shake out
ones,
the cobwebs.
Yeah.
Both competitors down.
but just trying to come up with a name that is like
Standing 10 count.
wrestling correlated doesn't always work out.
Nobody wants to see this match end in a count out. A double count out.
No.
When was this match? I think it was before my time. I will tell you,
Little rope
Ophelia,
to get back to his feet. Matthews doing the
Both
same.
competitors.
It was this
slowly getting to their
year.
feet here.
Coming in.
LPW
Right
13.
hands.
13.
Yeah.
Former PWA champion. Long time PWA champion. Standing drop kick it up to his
Hip
feet.
up. Fired up here is Michael Allen, Richard Clark.
The demise of Michael Richard Clark has been reported a little premature. Reid Matthews up to his feet. Tried to go for that cutter.
Back elbow.
Back elbow springing
Springboard
off that
double.
middle rope.
Nice
and
cross
a
body.
cross body.
Shoulders are down.
I would just like to say that
Close indeed.
there are LPW official posters for the events for sale up on the Love Wrestling website.
Yeah.
So if you really love a poster, I would recommend
trying to
going
get
to
the
grab
crowd
one because
behind
there
him
is some,
here.
like we said, some really
Got
great
something
posters
in
up there.
mind. Matthews back up to his feet again, trying to go for that cutter.
Oh.
Matthews went to the eyes. Oh man.
Oh,
Vicious pile driver.
drops him on his head.
That could be all for Clark.
Oh,
Doesn't get any closer than that.
2.9 there. Clark just gets the shoulder up.
These guys laid it all out on the line. I mean, we knew this was going to be hard hitting, but man.
I might have to invest in some posters.
Vicious, and on that
Yeah.
apron is a place he does not want to be. And now Matthews
Thickness here may be
looking
going.
to use that suplex that Michael Allen Richard Clark has used successfully so many times.
Oh, oh,
Firing in shots to the midsection, creating that separation. And a springboard
Oh.
board,
Hurricane Rana.
head scissors.
I was not expecting
Everything
that.
was effective.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That was
not
impressive.
enough to get the job done. You don't see Michael Allen Richard Clark bust that out very often.
Yeah, you usually expect power from Michael Allen Richard Clark, but he can fly.
Hit that roaring elbow, just shoved him into the ropes. Looking for a vertical suplex. Oh, man. Down with the thickness.
Oh, very close too off of that orange crush.
Clark barely got that shoulder up, but he got that shoulder up all the same. Thickness is pissed. He's frustrated.
We don't see
100%.
Thickness whip that out too often. He's resorting
I was going to mention
to,
it earlier.
Yeah, these guys going deep into the arsenal. You have to.
That's it, dead Clark. Huh? Just wait and stay.
I'm also a big fan of Reid's t-shirts that he has available. He's got this one, and there was another one. I think it just says like thick as fuck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd wear that. I'm a thick dude. I could wear it.
Right in that position Clark wants him to be.
One
He might
more
be looking
time.
for that vertical suplex.
Here we go.
Oh.
Lifting.
What a massive
Thickness
show
off
of
the
power.
apron.
Springboard moonsault.
Jesus.
One.
3. Almost into the
Michael
camera.
Allen, Richard Clark.
Hell of a performance by Michael Allen Richard Clark.
Yeah.
Huge victory for Michael Allen Richard Clark here.
Combination of power and athleticism got the job done, but that was a hell of a war. That was a lot
Great
of fun to
match.
watch. I'll watch those guys go at it anytime.
Just two behemoths.
And you are heading down for the next show. I think.
Yes, I will be at LPW 19. Speedball Strikes First. I am very excited for that. I'll get there in time for the LPW clandestine show on the Thursday, so it's a fun little weekend being able to check out some wrestling.
Yeah.
Excited.
So, Blair,
Yes.
what can we look forward for you this week from the Graymaker Pod and everything?
Okay, I just released an episode with Judge Ben Omen, which was a lot of fun. Ben's a great guy. We had a fantastic chat. Coming up this upcoming week is Brady Malibu from Boom Wrestling out in Vancouver. They're starting season 2 of their shows this upcoming weekend. So he joins me, and then after that, we got Lumberjack Larry will be the following week. And
Shit.
we talk about the Love Wrestling Patreon. You can find the Grainmaker episodes up there with the video, and I encourage you to sign up for it just to watch the interview with Lumberjack Larry, because it is like, without a doubt, I have not laughed that much ever doing an interview. So
Yeah.
just saying, check it.
Do yourself a favor. These LPW shows are a lot of fun. Great job setting up setting the shows every month.
Mhm.
As for me, you can catch me back here next Sunday on the Brunch Gimmick And anytime we do BOS, you can follow me at KartSandyG on Instagram, Twitter, and basically like any other social media. It's all the same handle. So yes, thanks for bobbing in.
Yeah.
Castar, Daniel Garcia saying coming late with the love the the Gunther Chad Gable rivalry. Absolutely. Yeah, Owen Hart versus Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
It's funny. I know we got to wrap things up, but
Yeah.
I had asked a question on one of the podcasts if you were going to show someone a wrestling match for the first time, like, you know, like an introduction to wrestling, and the one that came up was Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio, just to show a new fan like just what wrestling was all about. So it's funny how many Kurt Angle matches you could show someone to and be like, this is wrestling, and like get them into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah. Thanks everyone for jumping in. Zach, Ophelia, as always. For Blair, I'm Lawrence. We will see you again next week. Thanks for coming on and watching. Goodbye.